History has just been broken. Following the largest IPO in human history, SpaceX stock skyrocketed 19% on day one, officially making Elon Musk the world's first ever trillionaire. With his net worth surging past $1.14 trillion, Musk is now richer than the bottom half of the global population combined. His wealth eclipses the entire annual economy of Saudi Arabia. Yet, less than 2 decades ago, this exact same man was entirely broke, borrowing money for rent. How did a bullied kid from South Africa pull off the greatest financial miracle in history? Let's find out. To understand how a man accumulates $1 trillion, you have to realize he's been escaping reality since day one. Growing up in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon wasn't a popular kid. He was an extreme outcast, profoundly lonely, awkward, and hyper-focused. While other kids were playing sports, Elon was reading sci-fi and encyclopedias for up to 10 hours a day, literally running out of books at his local library. But things at school went from lonely to dangerous. A gang of bullies targeted him relentlessly. In one horrific incident, they threw young Elon down a concrete flight of stairs and beat him until he blacked out. He ended up hospitalized, requiring major respiratory surgery years later just to fix the damage. It was a brutal childhood that taught him a hard lesson early on. If you want to survive, you have to outthink your environment. So, he did. At just 12 years old, using an old Commodore PC, he taught himself how to code. He didn't just learn it, he weaponized it. He built a space-themed video game called Blastar and sold the source code to a magazine for $500. It was his very first taste of commercial success, and it handed him the ultimate blueprint. Technology was his ticket out of South Africa and his gateway to the future. By 17, determined to avoid mandatory military service and chase the tech boom, he packed a single bag and left for North America with almost zero money. While studying at the University of Pennsylvania, he tested his own limits, forcing himself to live on just $1 a day by buying hot dogs and oranges in bulk. He was training himself to survive on nothing because he knew the level of risk he was about to take next would require absolute ironclad resilience. By the late 1990s, that extreme training paid off. Musk dove headfirst into the Silicon Valley .com boom. First, he built a digital city guide called Zip2, which sold for $300 million. Then he founded X.com, a crazy, radical idea to move the entire banking system online. X.com eventually merged with its fiercest competitor to become a little company you might have heard of, PayPal. In 2002, tech giant eBay bought PayPal for a staggering $1.5 billion. As the largest shareholder, 31-year-old Elon Musk walked away with a personal payout of $165 million. For 99.9% of people, this is the definitive finish line. You buy an island, you buy a super yacht, and you never work a day in your life again. But Elon Musk isn't most people. Instead of protecting his win, he decided to play Russian roulette with his entire net worth. He looked at the world and saw 2 dying industries, space exploration and sustainable energy. So he took every single penny of his fortune and split it. He poured $100 million into starting an electric car startup called Tesla, and $10 million into Solar City. He went from a multi-millionaire to having literally zero liquidity. In fact, the taxes on the sale were so high and his investments were so aggressive that he actually had to borrow money from friends just to pay his housing rent. His friends thought he had lost his mind. Wall Street laughed at him. And as it turned out, those skeptics were about to be proven completely right, because his ultimate gamble was about to bring him to the absolute brink of total ruin. If 2002 was the ultimate gamble, 2008 was the year the bill came due. It is impossible to overstate how close the world's first trillionaire came to absolute permanent bankruptcy. Musk's life was collapsing on every single front. He was going through a highly publicized, messy divorce. The global economy was in the middle of the worst financial crash since the Great Depression, and his 2 companies were actively incinerating cash. Over at SpaceX, the situation was catastrophic. Building rockets is hard, But Musk's team was failing publicly. Their first rocket exploded. Their second rocket failed to reach orbit. Then they launched Flight 3, and it collided with itself in mid-air, destroying critical satellites. 3 consecutive launches, 3 total disasters. Millions of dollars of Musk's personal fortune were literally evaporating into smoke over the Pacific Ocean. By late 2008, the math was brutal. Musk had exactly enough money left for just one more rocket launch, or he could use that cash to keep Tesla from shutting its doors. He couldn't fund both. If he split the money and both failed, everything was dead. Employees were working for free. Musk was suffering from severe stress-induced physical illness, waking up in night terrors. He decided to push all his chips to the center of the table one final time. September 28, 2008, Kwajalein Atoll, Falcon 1, Flight 4. If this rocket fails, SpaceX goes bankrupt that evening. The countdown hits 0. Liftoff. The rocket clears the tower, tears through the atmosphere, and perfectly deploys its payload into orbit. It was the first privately funded liquid-fueled rocket in human history to succeed. Days later, a stunned NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract, saving the company, saving Tesla, and preserving the foundation of a future trillion-dollar empire. Fast forward to June 12, 2016, the absolute pinnacle of this entire biography. For years, financial experts assumed that electric cars or social media would make Elon Musk a trillionaire. They were completely wrong. The real catalyst was the historic, record-shattering SpaceX initial public offering. Trading under the ticker symbol SPCX, SpaceX hit the NASDAQ at a fixed debut price of $135 a share. This wasn't just a regular market listing. It was a financial earthquake. Raising a mind-blowing $75 billion, it completely obliterated Saudi Aramco's previous record to become the largest IPO in human history. On day one alone, intense investor frenzy sent the stock skyrocketing over 19%, closing near $161 and pushing SpaceX's total market valuation past a stunning $2.1 trillion. This wasn't just a regular market listing, it was a financial earthquake. Raising a mind-blowing $75 billion, it completely obliterated Saudi Aramco's previous record to become the largest IPO in human history. On day one alone, intense investor frenzy sent the stock skyrocketing over 19%, closing near $161 and pushing SpaceX's total market valuation past a stunning $2.1 trillion. Because Elon Musk owns a massive 42% equity stake in SpaceX, this single market debut caused his personal fortune to explode. By the time Wall Street closed that Friday, Musk had officially made history as the world's first ever 13-figure individual, with a net worth peaking at $1.14 trillion. He didn't just cross the finish line, he left traditional billionaires completely in the dust. But here is the ultimate twist that will blow your mind. You'd think the world's first trillionaire would be living in a gold-plated mega mansion or a sprawling private island. In reality, it's the exact opposite. Musk still spends the vast majority of his time living in a tiny, prefab, 400-square-foot box house in Boca Chica, Texas, that he rents from SpaceX for $50,000. It's a Spartan, no-frills existence that proves a fascinating point. His focus isn't on luxury. If he isn't spending $1 trillion on personal luxury, what is he saving it for? The answer lies in the massive, high-risk bets he's placing next. Because Elon Musk didn't build a $1.14 trillion fortune to conquer Earth. He built it to leave it. Every single dollar raised from the historic SpaceX IPO is being actively funneled into a singular, mind-boggling mission, building a self-sustaining city of 1 million people on Mars. But to get to Mars, Musk realized he needed to conquer a different frontier first: artificial intelligence. In early 2026, he fully merged his AI startup xAI directly into SpaceX. Why? Because space exploration, automated rocket landings, and piloting thousands of Starlink satellites require unparalleled computing power. Today, SpaceX operates the Colossus Data Center, a massive facility running over 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs, driving forward the future of autonomous systems. That same AI brain is being implanted into the Tesla Optimus humanoid robot. Musk has openly stated that if every person on Earth eventually owns a humanoid assistant, the robotics market alone will be worth tens of trillions of dollars. He isn't just dominating space and cars anymore. He is building the entire digital and physical infrastructure for the next century of human evolution. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk has completely redrawn the boundaries of wealth and human capability.
He survived severe childhood bullying, pushed through the absolute brink of total bankruptcy in 2008, and shattered Wall Street history to become the world's first trillionaire. Now, the final question belongs to history. Will his trillion-dollar empire successfully make humanity multiplanetary? Or is this much power in the hands of one man a dangerous gamble? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.